Hi everyone, this is Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a journal using this just cardboard box to make this. So if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and, this is just a cardboard box, just part of a box, and it's nice and thick, so that's why it works great for a journal. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut it here. So I'm just gonna start in the middle, because this is, I'm gonna have it 6 inches tall, and then I'm gonna do 14 inches. I'll show you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right on the line here. Try not to get my big head in the middle of the camera. Okay. And I just got my cutter. I'm just making sure I'm holding it down tight. Okay, and we don't need this piece. Okay, so what I do, and I don't need this big ruler anymore. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just make sure the edges are straight here, or I could go ahead and make sure you guys can see. Go ahead and just kind of cut it straight. Nope, not happy with that. So just keep cutting it until you got it where you want it. There we go. So I think that looks pretty good. And also, if you need to, and if you have one, it's just one of these sanding blocks. These work great too, to just kind of, I'm just doing it over the trash, but just kind of get the edges with it like that. If you want to just straighten some stuff out. Okay. Right here. You could just do another little cut if you need to. All right. So what I want to do is I like to take the journal here just to show you. And I made this journal out of the same box, just a different part of it. So I just measure it up here. And I know it measures to 14 because it's going to have six inches on each side and a 2-inch spine. So you can kind of, I'm just laying it out just to show you. Then I'm going to cut it to right here, which is going to be 14. So let's just go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And you can make a journal as big as you want, or as small as you want. I just like using this thick cardboard. It really just makes it sturdy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Measure twice, cut once. 'Tis the rules. It's a good rule to follow. Okay. So now the fun part here. Here, let me get everything out. I got that, and I got that. Okay. And what I do is go ahead and line it up. I'll move up so you guys can see. There we go. And then I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That leaves me 2 inches in the middle. I just line it up like this. And with my scorer here, I'm not pushing hard, because if you push too hard, you're going to poke through the box, which I have done. I don't know my own strength, you know how that goes. So you're just kind of scoring it. Just lightly, just enough to get something happening. Okay, and then you could take your other little scorer, and this one I could push a little harder because it's not as pointy. And I could not tell you, I am not sure the name of this. So if you guys know, I would love to hear in the comments. It's like the bone folder. It came with my bone folder. So I mean, I'm assuming you could just use the tip of your bone folder too. Same difference. And just do that. We're just trying to get, like, you know, just enough crease here on the inside. And then I'm moving to the other side here. And then just bending it up. Just like that. There. Because I like journals that already have an attached spine, because I know nothing's going to come undone, or, you know, it'll be way more secure that way. Okay, so that's one side. I'm going to the other side of the 2 inches here. And then just lightly scoring it. There we go. Okay. And then just go ahead and just hold your ruler where you want it and just do a fold. So there we go. So that's how you make a spine. And voila, you got the start of your journal. Okay, so that's the first step that we do, is cutting and doing that. And we made the spine. Yeah, I like that. So that's going to be the inside of it. And then I'm going to do the outside here. Okay. And what I want to do is take my fabric, so whatever fabric you're going to use, and just make sure to cut it a little bit bigger than what you want. See if you can see like this. So I cut it just a little bit bigger than when I wanted it. And that just helps when you fold it up and stuff, so you know you have enough room everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to just take the fabric, and I'm just going to use my Fabrifix. I'll show you. And it's Fabrifix, and it bonds fabric, lace, leather, trims, and more. Okay. I'm just going to use the big bottle here. And then I'm just taking glue, and I'm just going to go ahead and just glue her down. And I'm just getting enough just to let it stick, because I'm going to sew. But if you guys aren't going to sew, just make sure you're putting enough down. And I have thicker material. This is like a waterproof material. It's kind of cool. And so it doesn't soak through as much. But if that's the case, just take your finger and you can smush it around. And then you won't have seepage through to your fabric. So I'm just doing mainly in the middles here. There we go. Because I'm going to sew around the edges and down the spine. Okay. And then what I like to do, just to make sure, I just want to make sure it's upright, or at this point I guess it doesn't really matter. And then I just take this and line it up, just to make sure I'm getting it where I want it, and have a little bit all the way around. And I'm not going to press hard until I'm ready for it here. Okay. That looks about right. And then just go ahead and press it on there. All right, and then the next step is I'm going to take you guys over to the sewing machine. So just take it and fold it a little bit like that. Make sure it's all pressed down. Like that. So that's looking good so far. Pretty easy so far. So then you just go ahead and glue it and fold it and work it around. Make sure you have it where you want it. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch on each of the folds that we made. Just a zigzag stitch. And then I'm going to zigzag all the way around the journal. So I'll meet you over there. Okay. So I'm turning it so I can see the cardboard. So I can see where we made the fold. And I'm going to put it on zigzag here. And start at the fold here. Just do a back stitch. I'll work my way down. And then do another back stitch at the end here. And then do the same to the other side. And then I want to show you guys as you stop at the end here, just go ahead and turn. And make sure you're catching the edge all the way around on a zigzag stitch. So just work your way all the way around the whole edge of the journal. Okay, so got it sewn. And I just went down the folds and then all the way around, and it just secures it. So then you get a nice zigzag around it. Now, only with this material I would do this, because I don't like the way it frays. Like, I don't like the look of it. So what I've been doing, and that's just because this is outdoor material, so it's like got a little plasticky in it, and it's like waterproof. So do not do this to like cotton fabric or anything, because it won't work. It'll just burn it. But with this, because it is like an outdoor material and it's got, like, you know, like I said, the plastic stuff in it, I've been taking, and I'm making sure I don't have really long pieces because they'll just catch on fire. But I'm just sealing it. I'm just taking this and just sealing it across. So then it won't fray anymore. And it'll like stick to itself. So then I'm just taking it and just kind of burning just the edges and then pinching them down. Just because, like I said, it's got that plastic material in it for waterproof. So it does. It makes it so it seals, so it won't sit there and fray. Like this is just part of the material that comes like that, so it looks like that. So I'm just going to do it in a time lapse and just kind of burn just around the edges. All right, so got it all burnt around the edges. And like I said, only do it if it's like the waterproof where it has a little plastic and stuff in it. I wouldn't do it on cotton or material or anything like that. It just wouldn't work. Okay, so I got it all done. And now I'm going to take my walnut stain and just ink all around the edges, just down the creases, and get it all inked all the way around. And if you're noticing that your ink is getting dry, you could take a little spritz of water and just do a little spritz in there. And that helps revive it. And then you have a lot more just to play with to go around. And I like to do a lot going all the way around it, just like this one. I just do a good amount because you could still see it. You can see the cardboard and stuff. And I just like that look. I think it looks great. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and just get it all inked around. All right, so you can see I get it pretty dark just around the edges and stuff. And yeah, so I just take it and keep spritzing for the walnut stain, and just keep doing my little water and spritz, and then get it and do that. And you can also paint if you wanted to with acrylic paint, which I could do a video on that, and we could do just paint with some acrylic paints and stuff in there, and that could be kind of fun. Okay, so next move is, let's see, we went ahead and burnt the edges and then inked around the back of it. And now this is when you measure and cut your papers. So you measure them and cut them to size that you want. And I already did that. So like, I like to have my stitching and stuff show all the way around. That's why I went ahead and inked, because I think it gives it a kind of a cool effect. So it's gonna go like this and that. So you just go ahead and just measure how you want them. Okay. And then I like taking the opposite here and doing like that. And like that. So that's how it'll look. But before you glue it down, we need to take our closures that we're going to use, which these are seam. I'm going to use seam binding. And if you could see on here that I went ahead and glued it down in between the papers and the front cover, or the, you know, the cover. So we're going to go ahead and just glue it inside there. So that's where they'll be. So you have to do that before. Oh, and those are upside down anyway. I gotta do it that way. Okay. I'm gonna lay these up here. And I'm gonna take some of the Fabrifix and then make sure you're lining it up where you want it. So I'm just gonna take it and I go in about a couple inches or so, just so it has something to hold on to. And then, let's see. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you could just go the middle line here. That's the middle of the book. So you could do that. And I'm just doing some glue down. Giving it a good amount of glue. And then this baby ain't going nowhere. Okay. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side over here. All right, so we got it all glued. Got our little closures there. And now I take the art glitter glue. Love this stuff. Good old art here. And I like to do the papers with this because it doesn't warp them, in my experience, and it is pretty fast drying. So, there we go. Okay, so let's just go ahead. Hold on. First of all, make sure that your journal is upright, the way that you want it. Made that mistake too many times. So that's the top. It says the word coffee right here. So, and then we got, that's the back, and then that's the front. So we are good. So just make sure your journal is upright. #1 rule. Okay. And then I'm just gonna start gluing it on. So we inked around, we measured and cut and glued the seam binding. And then we're gonna glue our papers down. Like that. So I hope you guys are having a crafty day today and just getting out your old boxes that you have laying around and looking at them differently and see what you could do with them, and yeah, just seeing how your mind can be creative, you know? That's the fun thing, is just looking at things differently, you know? Instead of just going, oh, that's a box, I'm just gonna throw it out. Be like, nope, I can make a couple journals out of that. So I'm just going ahead and just giving myself a little space around. Okay. And then gluing it right on top of that seam binding. So then it's in between there. Ain't going nowhere. Okay. And then I'm just gonna take my pocket and just go ahead and do the same thing here. To be a little darker right there. Okay, and that's the top of my pocket. So I'm just gonna do a little glue around here. Leave the top open. Okay. And I like the stitches showing at the bottom. Ooh. Okay. There we go. So now we got ourselves a little pocket here. Let's see. I got a little tag. Whoop. So you got yourself a little pocket here. And then I'm just going to glue this down and then do the same thing on this side. Got it all glued. Some fun little pockets, front and back. Okay. And I don't know if I told you guys, but this will be in my Etsy shop. And I think this is my third one I'm working on, so I'll put it so I can have 3 of them in there. And they'll all have a little bit of different dangles happening with different beads, kind of the same material and, you know, some different. And some charms that are different. Like this one has a little turtle. And then the one we're going to put on this one, it has a little owl. And just see how they're a little bit different, but alike, you know. And every one of them will have a notes front here. Book plate. Cannot think of the word. And the linen behind it like that with the closures. And, you know, they'll have different papers a little bit, as you can see in the front. And then the pocket sizings and stuff. Just things that are a little bit different, but not serious. And then the papers throughout, you know, like some of the things like, you know, will be a little different, but I'll have another thrown in there, like another card that I sew around and, you know, just different interest papers. And they're all avocado onion dyed and some RIT dyed that I do for stenciling and stuff. And each signature will have a craft paper sectioned throughout, and it's 4 signatures in it. It's like that. And yeah, so these will be in my Etsy shop, and I'll put the link down below for that. Okay, and then next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put an eyelet in. And I'm just gonna get one of these out. Okay. And this is a crocodile. And it's got a 3/16 and a 1/8 hole punch with a eyelet setter in the front. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I like to see from the front here. And I'm gonna use the 3/16 punch. Do it right in the middle here. I just eyeball it. Okay. And then pop this through. And for some reason the fabric just doesn't like to punch that good. So I snip it. And then you just push it through. Take your eyelet setter, put the pokey part into the top and the flat part disc through the back here. And then you just press it. There we go. And you got yourself an eyelet. Just like that. Ready to go. And then this will, when we're all done binding and stuff, we'll go ahead and just stick this back here and have that one on it. Okay, so then the next step will be, we went ahead and did that. We're gonna find the front of our journal here, which will be up here. Yep, because the pockets are all set, everything's set. So this is the front. And you take whatever you want for a background, which is a piece of linen, and I just ripped it to size. And then I'm just gonna center this as good as I can. And I'm just gonna glue it down. that side. So we're just going to take our Fabrifix here. I'm just going to do a quick glue down. There we go. I'm just kind of just blotting it around because this stuff sticks pretty good. And I don't want it soaking through the fabric. Okay. And then just find your center, or wherever you want it. That works for me. Okay. And now for this part, I'm going to stamp the word notes like we did here. I just did it on craft paper. So the word notes is going to be stamped there. And I just got my little peg stamps here. And I just got these off Amazon. I just got like a whole kit of, I just typed in like peg stamps and it came up with just different ones you can get. And I'm going to do black soot. Let's make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. And then I just kind of line it up here. Get it to the size that I want. Just do a little snip. Just a little snip. And I'm just making sure it fits to my book plate here. Like that. Can make it a little smaller. Okay. And then, voila. Easy as pie. Okay, so I do that, and then I just like to refresh my stamp pads. And that's how it'll look. So I'm just going to line it up, make sure that I'm getting it in there, right? Okay. Oop. Come on. Okay, and then I get the word notes out, or the word note out, and O-T-S, okay, and I'm just stamping it in there, just like that. Just line it up and stamp her down. There we go. And then I could just move that over a little bit. Voila. We got the word notes. Well, that was wrong scissors. Okay. Done with these. So it's as easy as that. You just kind of just stamp it down. And if you don't have a book plate, you could just take it and just glue it on there. Whoops. It's like you have to have a, you don't have to have a book plate. You could just go like this and just glue that down. And then you could do some fun, you know, just some puff paints or the, you know, the 3D fabric paint. And you could just do that around it and put little designs and fun little things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know why I keep using the big bottle. I have this, and I don't know if I showed you. I know I've showed you guys before, but it's a Sweet Sugar Bell is what it is, and it's a piping bottle for icing, and it works great to do fine tip stuff that you want to do. And for some reason, I have tons of glue around it here. Wow. Okay, and let me just make sure that it's clear, and then I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down, just to tack down here. Make sure it ain't going nowhere. Okay, and then just line it up where you want it. I'm just gluing this. And this stuff holds nicely, you know. It does a good job. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without getting it everywhere. That, and then the next thing I do is take brads, just some brads here, just round head paper fasteners is what they're calling them, and I just get 2 of them out. I keep bumping you guys. Whoops. And then I take my old scissors, not my fabric scissors, and I just get as close as I can and do a cut. So I'm gonna do it over the trash, so they go flying everywhere. But all you're doing is just cutting that long stem off of it. And then I just push down the rest of it, and I do the same thing to the other one. So I just get as close as I can, just like that, and then take it to the trash because it goes flying everywhere, and then just do a snip, and it comes right off. Okay? And I just take my glue. I shouldn't do it on my journal, but I just put a dab of glue right there and pop it down where you want it. I got glue on top of it. I'm trying to get it off. There we go. So you just put it down where you want, and it looks really nice, just like that. So yeah, I just do that with my brads here. And then just put it where you want it. And there you go. Voila! You got your front cover. So just like that, that's how I do that. And I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and my next step I will do in a time lapse, and it will be to go ahead and put all the signatures in. And I have a more detailed video of how I do my signatures, and I'll put that down below in the link. And if I forget, let me know. But it is in my videos. If you guys come just check out my channel, you'll see it throughout. And yeah, just remind me, and I will put down just the binding that I do. So I will do that in just a second. All right, so we got it all bound together. We got all our signatures in here. These are fun papers. Do a quick flip just to show you guys some of the stuff. And I do have a flip through of this journal. I will put the link down below and you guys come check it out. Not this journal, but it's actually this journal, but the papers are pretty similar throughout. And like I said, this will be in my Etsy shop. And let's get this all tied up here, and then we could put the dangle on it. So yeah, go ahead and put a bow on it. There we go. And let's go ahead and put our fun little dangle here. I'll stick that on it. Okay. So there we go. And now it is finished. So it's got a cute little owl just hanging right there off of it. And there we go. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informational. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting, guys. Have a great day.